welcome back to my channel. Now I'm totally excited about today's video because I get to do the one topic that I've been wanting to do for such a long time. And you see I'm all nervous and pumped because yeah, I've been waiting for such a long time to actually put this video out. Now unfortunately I have been sick for the past 3 weeks, like on and off. For the past three and a half weeks, so I haven't been on YouTube and I haven't filmed anything, and so this is my very first video in 2018, and so it's kind of like double the trouble. So I'm all excited, and before I forget, Happy New Year to all of you guys out there. Thank you so much for bearing with me. Thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking and sharing my videos. It is a tiny community that I'm well aware of, but it is a steadily growing community and a very nice one above all. And so I wish you guys all a very healthy, successful, and good year. May the best things happen to you in this year. And so yeah, let's get started with this video because yes, as I said, I'm totally excited because I guess I'm a well-organized person. That's what you might call me. And so I figured that I might be a person to give you good advice on this topic. And so yeah, let's jump into it. So tip number one is plan ahead and take notes. And I understand, or I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to sit down for a hot minute and take notes and think about what you want your week to look like, what you want your day to look like, and what you want your month above all to look like. So it is very important to plan ahead at least 3 to 4 weeks. You don't have to plan out each and every day, but it's very important to just give it a rough thought. You know, to just sit down and map out roughly what is it that you want to accomplish, what is it that you need to get done. And for me, because I can only, you know, refer to my very own experience, for me throughout the past decade or so, and it was trial and error for a very long time, trial and error, because I've been using planners and apps and all sorts of stuff, but I kept coming back to this solution that I'm going to show you now. It's very simple and actually it's kind of like silly, but for me this has worked out to be the best solution ever. So I use a regular desk planner. And I pick up, whenever I buy a new one, I pick up the biggest format that they have. And so mine is Monday through Sunday, and I put in, you know, if I have office hours, you know, and I will mark them, you know, by colors. So office hours are orange, and then teaching classes, because I'm a teacher, for all you guys out there who don't know me yet. I'm a teacher. I teach English and German language and literature, and so teaching classes is yellow, and then office hours are orange, and then anything else, you know, any other task that I will have to you know, what is it, like for example here, recording studio at 4:30 p.m. that was on 4th of December last year, you know, so any other assignment or deadline that I will have to meet, you know, I will put in one of those columns, and I find that very practical. You will have to try for yourself what works best for you. Another tip that I can give you is use your phone. So I have my phone on me like all the time, I even go to bed with my phone, which is kind of bad, but yeah, using your phone and downloading, I don't know, there's like a billion apps out there for organization. And so what I use, I don't use an app, but let me tell you, let me show you. Now I have a Samsung phone, and I use, there's a box with Samsung tools, and I use the memo tool. So you can literally take notes and make lists, you know, to-do lists, and then you can tick off the boxes. And I will do this for my daily chores, actually. This works very well if I do have, like, I don't know, a grocery store list, you know, of stuff that I need to restock on, or if I have, like, I don't know, like household chores. Really, I hate them, but every now and then I will make a list, like, okay, do the litter boxes of the kitties, and then, I don't know, make my bed and vacuum and do the dishes, and, you know, like dust off the shelves and so on. So I will do those to-do lists and put them here in my phone, actually, because I feel like it doesn't really pay off to put this in a big planner, because I feel like the planner really helps me to keep an overview over what needs to be done that certain week or that certain month, because I do plan ahead like 3 to 4 weeks. And so it keeps me, it helps me stay organized. It helps me know at any time what needs to be done, you know, this week, next week, and probably the next 2 weeks ahead. So keep this one in mind. maybe it'll help you stay organized. For me, it has worked miracles, because this one actually, especially because this one is stationary, right? So this one is at my on my desk at all times. It's not moving around like those little pocket planners will. And so I find that this one is at all times, as I said, on my desk. It's not moving, and you know, whenever I sit down on my computer, here is my planner. And so yeah, keep this one in mind. So my tip number 2 is to keep your spaces clean. Now, I understand that every now and then we all tend to be a little bit lazy. We don't want to rinse that last cup of coffee. We don't want to make a bed. We just feel like sitting on our couch, watching Netflix and procrastinating. Now, I've been guilty of this like many times. But listen, if you want to get some work done, like really done, and if you want to perform well, you will have to take care of your spaces. And when I say space, I mean both your workspace and your living space. Now, nothing is more distracting to me than having like a billion dishes on my kitchen counters. Nothing is more distracting than having a bed that is unmade. For me personally, nothing is more distracting than having a smelly litter box, my cat's litter box. So I need to take care of my household, and I love to have a very clean house. I love to, when I wake up in the morning, I want to have a clean kitchen space where I can, you know, have my breakfast, where I can sit down and have my cup of coffee and not take care of, you know, taking care of a million dishes that is lying around, you know. In the evening, I prefer to just clean my spaces, you know, to clean my workspace, clean my apartment, clean my kitchen counters, you know. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have clean kitchen counters, because you want to, you know, you want to be relaxed when you wake up in the morning, because it's a fresh start, it's a new beginning, it's a new morning. You want to sit down and have your coffee, and you don't want to take care of your dishes, right? So keep your spaces clean. That is all that I can say. I feel like if you don't get distracted by these little things like your household things and your household mess, and I feel like the better you can perform, especially when you're in a creative field like I am. But also if you're doing any type of work, it doesn't matter. Even me as a teacher, working full-time before that, it is very important to sit down and have a very clean and made up workspace, so you can start each and every day fresh. And so yes, that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is to have a notebook and really write down your ideas. Now, for me, it is essential. I'm a visual person. For me, it is essential to sit down and actually write out those ideas, you know. For example, because I'm a singer and a songwriter, I tend to sit down and write lyrics. This takes time, you know, and without a notebook, I mean, I could sit down probably on my computer and type those lyrics, but I feel there's something very, how shall I put it? Something very calming, something very soothing, something very poetic about sitting down and taking your time to write those lyrics. Or if I need to plan out, you know, week by week what I'm gonna film, my ideas for my videos that are to come. So it is very helpful to have pen and paper and sit down and really write out those ideas. Nothing will help you, especially later on when you reflect on your ideas, nothing will help you more to reflect than having those ideas, you know, compounded in one notebook. And so these are my 2 little notebooks for 2018. This one is called it says Action on the cover. My sister Lily gave it to me only last year, I believe, for my birthday. I'm not quite sure, but by then I had another one that I actually wanted to fill. So yeah, so the other one is full now. So I'm coming back to this one, and this one is particularly great because it does say here, it says topic and date, and then it says reflections on this side, and then on the right side it says actions. So you can actually put in the actions that you took in order to achieve, you know, a certain goal. So I really love this one, and it comes with a sort of elastic here in the front. I like that, so to keep it closed. And my second one is this one here. It's a tiny one. I use it I carry it around for lyrics because I tend to have the craziest idea for good new lyrics when I'm on the tram, when I'm, I don't know, on the subway, when I'm walking to the grocery store. So I carry this little bugger with me, and it's super tiny, so I can fit it in my tiny little purse and carry it around all day long, and it's not too heavy, and it has proven many times to be very practical and useful. So yes, I can only recommend it. Stick to it. Buy a notebook. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. My previous one was just a regular notebook that students would use at college, but I just loved it because I have it on my desk, sitting on my desk, and whenever I sit down on my computer, I will take it, you know, write down stuff, because it's just, as I said, it's practical, it's useful, and there is something therapeutic about sitting down and writing down what you want to achieve. So have that in mind the next time you sit down and tell yourself, like, I need to be well organized, and thus I will achieve my goals. So yeah. Tip number 4 is do one thing at a time. Now, I understand I've been guilty of this many times. I'm someone who likes to work, to think, to perform, to do anything in life at a very fast pace. And I love doing like 5 things simultaneously, which is really bad at times, because every now and then, you know, things will work out fine, but every now and then I will stumble upon, you know, something very important and not be able to finish it because I was doing, again, 5 things at the same time. And so if you're working on an important project, if you're working on a very serious goal that you definitely want to achieve, do one thing at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. Now, I remember when I started learning to edit. Now, editing, that was just the worst for me ever. I started editing like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and the learning curve was the steepest ever. It was like this. There was no curve. It was like this. So it was the steepest curve ever, and I felt overwhelmed. And so I kept watching at the same time, watching tutorials, taking notes, calling my sister, asking her, like, what do I do here? What do I do there? I was just freaking out. And instead of sitting down, turning on the computer, and then just starting to work with the program, you know, just take it step by step, I was trying to do all at once, you know. And at the same time, I was trying to, I don't know, get to know everything there was about camera gear, about lighting, about, I don't know, tripods, about lens focus, whatever, like, because I'm really not a tech geek at all. I don't know anything about cameras. I don't know anything about lenses. I don't know anything about lighting. You know, but it took me quite a lot of time to understand that if I had been doing just one thing at a time, you know, just dedicating my time to, for example, just a chapter of lighting, you know, I would have probably progressed way faster, but I was just taking it in all at the same time, and I felt so overwhelmed. By overwhelming myself, I totally lost focus, you know, and I remember for many months, you know, just not filming at all, you know, not caring at all about filming, about videography, about lighting, about, I don't know, lenses, cameras, whatever. So because it just really, I felt turned off, you know, by all of it. I was like, okay, I'm never gonna conquer this filming thing. I'm never gonna understand how filming and cameras and focus and whatever works. And so this is a very, I believe, very valuable tip, you know, if you will, or probably one of the most valuable. Please do one thing at a time, you know. Don't just try to do everything at the same time, because there's really no sense. You will just end up being frustrated, like I was really frustrated at that moment, and you'll end up probably not being too motivated to, you know, continue your journey. And I believe it is all about a journey, but that's another topic. And last but not least, my tip number 5, which is to do things now. Do not postpone things. Do not overthink them. And do not push your goals. Do not push your dreams away. I know, and probably that's why you're watching this video, I know that all of us, we all want to be well organized. We all want to have the feeling that we're so well organized and then we will achieve success. But I believe you could have all the planners in the world. You could have all the desk planners in the world. And you could have all the notepads and notebooks and whatever it is. You could have all the apps downloaded on your phone. If you don't really do it now, you will probably never do it. And there's just only so much sense in being well organized if you don't sit down and actually do the work that you want to be doing. And so, as I said, probably my tip number 5 sounds a little bit random, but if you think about it, I believe it is the pure essence of success. And success can be, anything and everything. For some people, success is monetary success. For some people, success is losing those 5 pounds, those 5 extra pounds that they've gained, over Christmas. For some people, it is success, to finally become a parent. For some people, it is a success to climb that career ladder, and become a manager or whatever it is that you want to become. And I feel the only way of achieving this goal is to do it now. Now, as I said, all of those planners and notebooks that I've shown you just a couple of minutes ago, all of these things, they will help you to stay organized. But if you really want to achieve success, you will have to live in the moment, and you will have to acknowledge the moment. You will have to understand that it is only now that we have. There is no past and no future, but there is only now, because only this present moment forms not only the past but also the future. And there's one brilliant book that I would like to recommend to you, and I'm not much of a book recommender here on YouTube, but there's this one book that I would really like to recommend you. Speaking of now, this book is called so the English edition is called The Power of Now. The German edition is called Jetzt. So I do have the German edition, and it is by Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle is a German author who now, I believe, resides in Canada. Is he a Canadian resident? I'm not quite sure. But his book has been translated in so many different languages. So go out and check it out. I will link it down below if I can find it online. But I'm sure I will find it online because it is such a well-known book and a well-received book. This book is called or said to be not only a bestseller, but it is said to be the best spiritual guide ever. Now, I really don't know if that is true because I'm not really big on spiritual guides, but this one was recommended actually a couple of years ago by my vocal coach, and I was a bit skeptical when I first bought it because I'm not much of a spiritual person or whatever, but it's just when I started reading it, it was like he just nailed it. He just nailed this very essence, that all of us need to understand if we really want to be successful. And as I said, success does not mean monetary success. It does not mean having more money in your purse. It means so many different things to so many different people. And so I highly recommend this one or checking this one out. I'm sure you will love it. And so yes, this concludes my video. I hope you learned something, and I hope that you will be well organized, throughout this very new year of 2018. I'm all excited about what's to come, and I hope for all of us, to be successful and to achieving our goals, whatever it is that you're aiming for. I wish you all the best, and until next time, please leave me a comment down below, share the video, like it, subscribe, and come back for more because I would love to see more of you guys. And so yeah, up until next time, have a good one and see ya. Bye.